Bonjour, bonjour, bonjour. Diana Charles. My sincere condolences goes out to the brother in Christ who lost his life by rescuing a lady in a shop in St. Lucia. And he lost his life. So, yes, I want to talk about how I would handle a situation like that. Now, the guy lost his life for trying to be a good Samaritan. I listened to the video clips on the news this morning about what happened. St. Lucian, let me tell you something. Let me tell you what I think. And I am so disciplined in my life. And I respect people's boundaries. St. Lucian, let me tell you something. When your neighbor is upset with you or have an argument or jealousy and whatnot, fight down, and they decide not to be friends with you or have nothing to do with you as a neighbor, let me tell you, you'll have to accept when somebody don't want to be your friend and don't want to forgive you and don't want to say, I'm sorry, I apologize, we had an argument, let's move on, let's learn to love each other. When a human or a community doesn't know how to do that and doesn't want to make peace, don't expect if something happened to them for you to go and rescue them. I'm going to say it again. If you are going through or you went through arguments or with your neighbors and your neighbor choose to break up with you and not be and making enemies and don't know how to forgive and love each other, you have to stay in your lane, stay in your section. Whatever happened to this person, you do not go to the yard. You do not go and say nothing to them. If they're not saying good morning, they want to make enemies, find other people to find respect and love. Find your own family. It's not every single person who live in your community are your neighbors and respect you and love you. Y'all have to understand that, St. Lucia. Majority, I used to say, majority of our people don't forgive each other. They die and they in church. If you can't forgive you not, you can't more, you still high you. That is why I adopt a dog instead. Now, with my community, let me tell you, if I'm living in a community and my neighbors hate me or jealous of me, let me tell you something. I love that neighbor from a distance. So if I hear a neighbor screaming, ou pa pale ba mon pa di ma good morning, ou ka we mwen, why mon pa forgive me? Ou sa hele, bon Dieu, de mwen Jésus soukou, pote mwen soukou. Maka, ale, I find about madam. This is why the lady said, she did not ask y'all for help. You understand what human is? C'est pour ça moi adopt un chien instead. Madame la, dit comme ça. Let me tell you, my brother. And your mother, I will come to that just now. The lady said she did not ask your brother for help to rescue her. First of all, the lady have her husband. Madame la ni mawi, ini shopli. Idi suku pote mwen suku. Bang, robbers come into her shop. She never tell your brother to come to rescue her. Idi mawi, si te vle help ek ini shopli, ek moun kwaze shopli, she's supposed to have civilians cameras. Also, if there is something going on and somebody is robbing a shop, she supposed to call the police, 911 or 411 or whatever y'all have in St. Lucia to call the emergency for her help. Let me tell you something. First of all, my brother, I saw your video on Facebook Do not get upset about the lady. The fact that the lady said the lady did not send condolences to y'all. Y'all too good. Too good for humans. If your brother had understand a woman like Diana Charles and discipline himself, that lady is your enemy. Y'all had issues before. You did said about your mother and the lady with the shop are not getting along. For years, even a dog, even arguments. You put a fence, they break the fence. That is your enemy, my brother. She don't owe you nothing because of your brother's death. Y'all have been going through a lot of beef with that lady. Kisati boy la kale I rescue madam la. Mem si hele, mem si di hak pote mwen suku. That is your enemy that's there. Why? She has a husband, she has a phone, she has access to the police to get her help. Pa ale la kai person. The person is your enemy. What I would personally do if I hear any sorts of abuse, gunshot or whatever, ki ka ale a neighborhood mwen as a neighbor. Munsa pa ka pale, munsa pa pale ba mwen. Ma ka ale, pa mem si hele. She have to call my name to come and help her. Mem si te kay kuye no mwen pou mwen, alay pote suku, na kuye police la pito. Ma ka ale ay mette la vi man le line for no human. Ma pièce Samaritan. Bo de ba we la vi mwen vivli. Twa kaw, I can simply call 911 for y'all, call the police. If I hear noise in the neighborhood, I'll call and get the rescue team. Utan, I will not. I find that this guy was too good. You lost your life at your age. Can rescue a madam that has always been your enemy? That's stupid. That is very stupid of him. And the lady, I'm sorry, but you taught your son the most stupidest thing to do, being kind to human. Let me tell you something about being disciplined. If somebody is your enemy and somebody in your neighborhood and he is living around you and have nothing to do with you and for years and years you're not getting along and have not forgiven each other or one didn't forgive each other, if something happened and you hear a noise in her backyard or in her yard, call the police. Kisa ou ko ashe? Kisa ou ko ashe alay rescue madam la pa pale bay zo pa nan pou fek zo. Right? Right? And the lady, the guy lost his life. Then the lady said she didn't ask for help. Ipa kuye no, kisa ou ko ashe la. She's not your friend. She's an enemy. What part of enemy you don't understand? Muna pa forgive. She's ignorant. The guy lost his life. I understand the family is upset. She opened her shop. She was not your friend. She broke up with y'all. She hates y'all. It's not everybody that is black supposed to support each other black. Madam la pa vle na pou fek zo. The brother that lose his life, let me tell you something. That he simply could have called the police and not going and run after the robbers. Then he got shot. Bon, Madame Salah, Sademu, Madame Salah, at least, ou te sa di merci and forgive you na lot. Merci. I really feel bad about Saki Alia. I really feel bad about your son. At least the lady is supposed to say something. That's wrong of her. Let me tell you something. My point is, St. Lucian, the lady simply said she didn't call y'all. Ipakuye. She has her responsibilities. Police authorities who deal with it. Now, at the end of the day, I have nothing against the lady. The fact that it di kon sa, it pa te mande zo help. It te sa coupe zo. She had already cut ties with y'all in the community. When somebody cut ties with you in the community and as a neighbor, pa même chion, ivle vinya palo potli. She's not humans in St. Lucia. They will hate you with a passion ek pa ni rien pour faire pour balancer yo ka vivre. Ou tan? Bon, moi apprendre ces bagay ça là, I live with neighbors in St. Lucia. When they hate you and they want to have nothing to do with you, ou ka mola, yo pa ka rescue. Vie san yo ni kon sa. So, that family of that guy that died, you'll have a beautiful heart. And my lady, your son died there. And the way you raise your son, teach your son to be like Diana Charles. Not everybody you're supposed to be nice to. Utan, when somebody is already your enemy, leave them there. Kite enemies. If you are a good Samaritan, if you are a good person, and that person is not willing to be friends with you and love you, let them go. C'est pour ça que je garde pour un chien plutôt. Ma interfere comme un human, no? I love them from a distance. I know who my enemies is. Don't touch me. You don't say hi to me. You don't give me a hug. You don't love me. I'm moving on. I find dogs instead to love me. Ma interfere comme un neighborhood. Stay in your section. I fence in my yard. And the guy said something about how they have dogs in the neighborhood. They put a fence. If you have your property, your piece of land you pay for, you have rights to fence your land and keep your children in your yard to play. Why would you say, my brother, you saying that they break your fence? If you own your land and your mother's property and you're living in a property and that's your yard, that's your land, you fence your yard. Keep your children in your yard. That's your enemy there. Tell your children, this is our neighbor. That neighbor don't like us. Stay away. Fence your yard because if it's your property. So you saying that they break your fence. So if it's your fence and you have your agreement, your deed of sale and you fence your yard, and they break your fence, there's laws for that. So at the end of the day, nobody's nice to each other anymore as humans. Utan, n'importe comment respect, et na respecte discipline moi. Si un moun kadi, pote moi soukou bodye, Jésus. You didn't call my name, I not fucking come in and help you. I call in the cops, call in ambulance for you. Utan, if I see a neighbor that not friends with me and have made enemies with me for years, and I see something happen to he or she on the road, mama so, na kuye emergency ba ou, si sa an bout an bay glow vle na ba antimet glow an jello, ek na kuye police ek ambulance pou vin gade pou, sa pas sa fe mwen. But Pudi, go to your house if you getting robbed and I'm gonna take gunshot for you? No. Maka feska se bagay sa la. Kite wicked humans kote yo suppose ye. It's not every person ki se moun ki moun. Y'all will learn, y'all love, y'all have for people. I love from a distance. If you cannot love, if you have arguments with me and you cannot say, Diana, I was wrong. Neighbor, I was wrong. Forgive me. Unfair, you in union ek yon a lot. Nou tout se moun ansam. Forgive my neighbor. Neighbor, sa ba, jeme forgive ou ki sa ou ka ache la. I'm not going to go. If I have a problem with somebody, I will say forgive if I'm wrong. Mais si neighbor sa ha ima pou balance ka vive. E kwa di, kapote mwen soukou, ma ka vini. Call the ambulance ou call the police. So, at the end of the day, yes, that's to show you're humans. C'est pas tout moun ki moun, lani bet ki human ou sav. They have people that is evil and wicked in their soul. Okay? If somebody never want to say to forgiveness, and years after they never talk to you, même si yo ka hele glow, don't go to the fucking yard. What part of that y'all don't understand, St. Lucia? Y'all think y'all too kind for me. Le moun apan na e pou fek mwen. Glow na ba ou. Si moun wawo shi me, si moun, police na kouye pou edo. Ambulance na kuye pwedo. Maka interfere. You wasn't my friend. We were enemies before. Call the police. Parle la moun ki pa konta tête zo. Loved him from a distance. She opened her shop. She's not human. She still didn't say, my condolences to the guy that tried to help me. Maman chemo, pardon, unfair, and wange zafè nou an neighborhood la. And my brother, let me tell you something. Y'all at fault for going and rescue somebody who had nothing to do with you year after year. Any problem ek mama ou? Ipa heme konè zo? Madame Salapana e pou fek zo? Your brother knew about it. So let me tell you something. Don't blame the lady for your brother's death. Blame kozo. Manye zo kwa kodi tout community se jan zo. Le pou wa moun pa konta tetou ipa heme find forgiveness. What part of that y'all don't understand? So being kind is sometimes it doesn't pay off. So sometimes it's good to be a bitch like Diana Charles. Kite moun an wickedness yo. Utan, le ou bay kaive se wicked la. Let it go. Let it go. Don't be a good Samaritan. And my lady, the way you raise your son to be a good Samaritan, I don't think it was a good idea for you to raise your son to be good to people that have already even hate you as a mother, that have never even made peace with you as a mother. Ou kompon mwen? Le amoun pa vle jom have nothing to do with you as a neighbor, pa interfere kowek yo. Yo pa do good morning, si an ba ive yo, kite yo mado glow, yo wicked twop. When a person have hate against you and have never called you and say, please forgive me. If a hater or an enemy or a neighbor have problem in their own house, don't rescue them. Let them call you, don't call them. They have to call you by your name. Ukobwan. They didn't call your brother. The lady didn't call. He just screamed. All right? She didn't call your brother, my brother. I'm sorry. My condolences to your family. La ou e salopte moun an la neighborhood yo le yo se enemy ou ek yo pa pale ba ou. Kite yo kuye non si yo vlo help you. Utan. Si yo pa kuye non, we se chula kayu. Utan, we se chula kayu because that's your enemy there. Love them from a distance because they're not willing to forgive. Utan. Fence your yard, keep your children and tell your children, this neighbor is not willing to forgive us. We are neighbors, but stay away from that neighbor. Let that enemy call you by name and say, forgive me. Let's try to reunite. Ek lev tout moda yo pete, kite yo kuye non pito. Pa ale a fucking yard moun I rescue you. When an enemy in the community, in the black communities, la yo hayu pou balance ta yo ka viv. So Diana Charles already learned how our community in St. Lucia work. Les neighbors la pa forgive you, kay la mess, yo pa forgive you. Kite yo kuye non. Let yo pete, kite yo kuye non, fe yo kuye police. Fe yo kuye 911 pou yo deko yo. Utan. So don't hate the lady because the lady said, ipate kuye zo. That's to show you how wicked and evil women, humans are in St. Lucia and other countries. They hating you. They don't want to have nothing to do with you. Don't. Stay in your lane. Let the person call you by name to help them. Pa interfere kozo. Ek le amun pa kote tetu. I pa vlo. I pa na ibu febu. I pa forgive you. Stay in your lane. Utan. So I apprend just at least because I learned the hard way. Yeah. Once somebody in my neighborhood is my enemy, if I do them something wrong, and they don't want to have nothing to do with me, they don't want to have peace with me, I fence my yard, na che chien pito pou jamwe. Si moun vle mwen edey, ini pou vini an yard mwen nok ek di kon Diana Charles. I'm sorry. Si an ba yi venu na lot nou se neighborhood, let's get past this. I'm sorry, forgive me. Ek sou wize help mwen kouye mwen. Maka vini I rescue ou pas. You have to call me by the name. Bon, si moi pas kouyo ek moi scream, I have options to call the police ek bagay. Si, moi même sav neighbor moi, ma kontan neighbor moi ek chou moi ka pete na kouye neighbor sa. Soukou neighbor moi aide moi souple forgive me, come and help me. Yes, so let me tell you something. That lady, Madam Salah, she's very, very in your chair. Wet. Pi pa vini. Is still pa vini. Ek vini di. My condolences ek bakay. And let me tell you something. People like that, like I said to you, Madam, pou manye amwe la, the thing I see to end that video, the way I see that lady did not even come and greet your condolences for losing your son, for trying to rescue her. Let me tell you something, Madam Salah. Pa même un cigarette, mwen te kay gen lan men ou. Because let me tell you something. As people, as black people, même si konye, you can say, at least, même si ou pa te vle fey, ou te sa di, I'm sorry, make peace with the lady, because losing a son, and somebody who did so much to rescue you, my lady, Saint Lucia, Madam Salah. When the Madam Salah malade tête, because at the end of the day, my lady, bon Dieu pa ni rien pou fe pi moun kon ou, madame. And I would not come in your shop on like the brother say, shop sa, you better close that shop, because let me tell you something, everybody have their hate, upset about things, but something like that, mateka même for vanawa vet en shop la. Même si moi te fait, mateka vin en shop, ou pas même glow. Some of our people really wicked. So kaya pon, love from a distance. C'est pour ça moi qui te human bat mise, I love you all from a distance. Ek na adopte chipito ek kabrit. Because I personally, I have a good heart of gold, and if I'm wrong, even if you do me something wrong, I still love you from a distance. Mais sou ou pa kouye no mwen for help? I'm sorry, I stayed in my section. So it's called discipline. Discipline komwe. Maka pren la mwen by person. I have my pina colada ek bon ti rom ek scotch mwen bwe ek fe bel poel ek sugar cake mwen epi fami mwen ek ishwen. By ishwen ek mawi mwen I run the walk. Ek tishye mwen yan. Ou kopon? And sometimes I have family and friends. Y'all don't like me. If something happened to y'all, I'll cry for y'all. But if y'all don't call Diana Charles, I need your help. I stay in my section. Et ça comprend? Oui. So c'est ça que je pour dire dans les vidéos.